Hello guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in this video we are going to answer the Faculty of Engineering and Technology paper 1 Mathematics 2017. Time allowed 3 hours, and we have to answer all the questions, inshallah. So the questions are really much, and we're gonna go through them one by one. God bless the person who sent me this paper, and I think he has really done it. Okay, let us begin. They say that this is the function, so you pause the video and you attempt it, then you can unpause to see the solution. Okay, voila. So let us now begin. So we have been given that f of x, take my white ink. We have been given that f of x is equal to x minus 1 on x minus 2 and x not equal to 2. That the range of f of x is, so what is the range? The range of a function is simply the domain of the inverse of that function. So now what they are testing you on is how to find the inverse and how to find the domain of a function at once. So let us begin. So to find the domain of a function, you will let y to be equals to that function. So in this our case, our function is f of x. So we'll let y equals f of x. And if you get that, you just simply y equals x minus 1 on x minus 2. Okay. And now from here, what you do is simply switch. You will simply make x the subject. Okay, so you make x the subject, and making x the subject, we just cross multiply. So to cross multiply, I'll put this as y on 1. Let me just put this 1 to be a good one, like this. I've not changed anything. Dividing by 1 does not mean anything. So if you cross multiply like this, so we just simply get y multiplied by all of this denominator into x minus 2 have to be equals to 1 multiplied by x minus 1. And if you go ahead, you open a bracket, this you must take y times x, law of distribution. You get yx or xy minus 2y multiply y by this equals to 1 times x is x, 1 times negative y is negative 1. And the problem is now we are going to combine like terms. So we are going to take x to meet this other text. So crossing the equal sign, the changes to negative. So we get yx minus x have to be equal to negative 1 is in the other side. Now I'm taking this negative 2y to the other side since it does not contain x, and it will become positive, so it will be positive 2y. What I've simply done is taken this term to this side and this other term to this side, and that is all with their signs. In mind that when it crosses the equal sign, the sign changes. So from here I will now factor out x, that is x into y minus 1 equals to negative 1 plus 2y. Okay, so now you see that here I've just simply removed x. So if you multiply by x times y, we still get your yx, and x times negative y, still get your negative x. That is the meaning of factoring out. And if you do it like that, you just simply now divide by the coefficient of x, which is y minus 1, since we need only x, dividing by y minus 1. I just simply get your x to be equal to, because this one on this side cancels. Okay, so you now get your x to be equals to negative 1 plus 2y all on y minus 1. At this point in time, you now switch between x and y. So you say so you now exchange x and y. Okay, so you switch them. So you now get something like your y to be equals to negative 1 plus 2x all on x minus 1. And from here we set our y to be equal to, at this point, make sure you switch it back please. Then now we now go ahead and say our f inverse of x will now be equals to this last result after switching again, after reswitching. So you get negative 1 plus 2x all on x minus 1. But our target is not the inverse. Our target is to find the range, and the range is simply the domain of this function. And what is the domain? The domain is simply let this denominator should not be 0. If the denominator is not 0, this function will be undefined. That the function, where is the interval, or where is that function defined? So now we now see that our function belong to all elements of real numbers. Okay, so if you substitute any real number here, it will satisfy, except for a certain case, that if the denominator is not 0. So we will now say denominator must not be 0. So this implies, what is our denominator here? Our denominator, so I can use a black ink, a blue ink. So having x minus 1 should not be equal to 0. I can take this negative on the other side, you get x should not be equal to 1. So x belong to all elements of real numbers, x not equal to 1. So all real numbers will take except 1. this function. All real numbers will satisfy this function. If it is 1 million, you substitute, you get a nice result. 2 million, 5, negative, 6, 0, all other numbers except negative, except 1. And when we talk of equation, an equation is what contains these four attributes. That is, it contains equal sign, it contains not equal to, it contains less than, it contains greater than, it contains less than or equal to, it contains greater than or equal to. So each time you find this, then we call it an equation, else we call it a function. So for example, if I just say ax squared plus bx plus c, I ended, this is a function. But if I put not equal to 0, it is now becoming an equation. Okay, so you solve the equation denominator not equal to 0, and you got the value 1. So now let us move ahead to see which one matches with our answer. So our answer goes with C. So C is the right option. We can go ahead and circle it. Okay, so C is the right option. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and in the next video